What's up?
Nothing.
You Facebooking?
I was.
So rude.
Mm-hmm.
So rude. We have people here waiting for a show, okay? And you're just like hanging out.
They were all reading
on
TMZ.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, very sad about Kobe Bryant. Mostly really sad about his daughter, who was with him.
She's only 13.
It was really sad. But anyway, guys, welcome to the show. It's a Sunday Live Haul. I'm Katy.
I'm Vikki. Usually you introduce me. I don't introduce myself.
This is Vikki, aka Victoria, when she wants to be taken seriously, like an adult, aka kind of bitchy, aka I guess aka my fiance.
Make sure you had your ring on.
I do have my ring on. Anyway, what's happening, everybody? It's our Sunday Live Haul show, which is our favorite show of the week. It's the most fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like it's everybody else's most favorite as well. We usually get the biggest audience for this one. Anyway, guys, so this is our show we do every week. We break it into 3 parts. The first part, we go into our real numbers for the previous week ending yesterday. So from last Sunday to yesterday.
Not as exciting this week as it has been the last several weeks.
If you've been watching, guys, the last couple of weeks, we both have been neck and neck, getting really good numbers between eBay and Etsy. And man, it's one of those things where it's like you see people post like, oh, is anyone else having bad sales? And it's like, of course, there's always going to be people having bad sales. There's always going to be people having good sales. But I have to say, when both of us with our separate businesses have great sales from week to week for a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden they just like cut in half for each of us in our separate stores. I mean, it feels like it's just been a really slow week, but I don't know. Could just be us.
It has been.
Yeah, so
it could just be us, but it has been a very slow week for me anyway. I mean, I will say I normally ship between 20 and 25 items on a Monday from a weekend of sales. I have 4.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And I didn't ship on Saturday. I have 4 sales. So it has been might be my worst weekend ever on eBay.
That's nuts. Well, and volume wise, I think I'm up a tiny bit from the last week, but it's all been, not all of it, but a lot of my sales have been lower priced items. So it's like, it just feels like, it's like I'm getting sales, but I'm like crawling along. And like earlier in the week, like my 7 days was amazing. And then all of a sudden it just went down in the last few days. It's been pretty meager.
See, Chris Brown's like 4, ouch. Yeah, for me, that's
that's really low.
Really bad. I see Candace in the chat. Hang in there, honey. I did see your post in another group on that. You got this. So that's all I just wanted to say. You can do it.
Yep. You got all of us here. You got all your stranger friends on the interwebs to give you support, and we're definitely here. So the first part of our show, we go through our real numbers. Second part of the show, the middle of it, we look at the highlights of some of the cool things that we sold during the week. We usually don't show you the number sales, but you can check those out yourselves by just looking at the links to our stores down below. But we show you some of the cool stuff that we sold that we thought you'd think
I had to dig for the cool stuff this week.
I looked and I'm like, oh, she only sent me 7 things. And then the last part of the show is when we do our haul and we show you some of the cool stuff that we picked up in the last week, which you have something really cool. We went back to that estate sale. So it was the second week of that estate sale. And you actually snagged something that you paid a few bucks for, and $5, and you're going to be able to turn them into a couple hundred at least each. You got 2 of them. So it's hard goods, guys, and something really cool.
I think it would be $400 to $600 I should be able to get for the 2
together. You'll sell them separately, so at least a couple $100 each. So this is the kind of thing, guys. Second week of an estate sale, it's such a huge sale that in the first week we went, there were hundreds of people, I'm sure, that went through there, if not more, over the couple of days that they were open. And then we're there for the second week, and you just see how like stuff gets missed. Like people pass over things.
It was just in a little box in the corner, and I actually picked it up thinking it was something else because I didn't look real quick. I didn't look too in depth either. So when I brought it up, it didn't have a price on it. I knew she was going to give it to me cheaply, so I paid $5. And I went home and did a little bit of research thinking it was one thing, found out it was another thing, and got even more excited because I opened the box all the way up and went, oh, it's better than I thought it was.
Exactly. So it's like, the kind of stuff that I pick up it's like, you know, if you know about vintage clothing and you're into vintage streetwear, like, yeah, there's some of those weird vintage t-shirts that not as many people pick up that I like. But for the most part, it's like, it's no big surprise. You know, if you were at a sale and you saw what I get, you'd probably grab it too.
Right.
But with the kind of stuff that Vikki goes after, it's stuff that you may not have noticed before or thought to look at. So she'll be showing that during our haul. And yeah, so but real quick, so Jen is asking about Kobe. So yeah, Kobe Bryant,
it happened at like 11:20 this morning. So like,
yeah, there was
less than 3 hours ago.
I guess he traveled a lot by helicopter from his home into other places around California, especially. And so there was a helicopter crash. And I'm not sure. I've heard 4 people. I've heard 5 people, but it was definitely him.
I did read it was 5. Him, his 13-year-old daughter, one of her friends. That's at least 3 of the 5.
Yeah.
So
it is really sad. And, but, I do want to address something because if you're in any of the reseller Facebook groups, anytime something like this happens, you see all these posts everywhere of people posting like, hey, so-and-so died. If you're selling anything by them, that's going to go fast, or you should price it up. And then you inevitably have people saying, being really upset and saying, it's too soon, or what, poor taste, or you guys are assholes. And the reality is,
you're welcome to your opinion, whatever way that might be. But but like Katy was just going to say,
well, yeah, the reality is, guys, this is business. And when you have somebody who's a celebrity, the nature of being a celebrity, the nature of being somebody like a professional sports figure, is that you're getting paid millions of dollars, tens of $1 million a year, because you're commodifying your name. And you're not getting paid because you're just really good at basketball. You're getting paid because your face, your likeness, your name sells advertising. And that's the whole nature of the business. And the reality is that, yes, when somebody passes away, the demand shoots up for items that have anything to do with that person. And you know what? The family's going to benefit from that as well. And yes, it's really sad, but they're going to do like memorial shows on sports channels, and they're going to sell advertising for that at a premium.
It's a short window of opportunity where you have a couple of weeks. If you happen to have these items already, you've probably sold them if they've been priced too low. And if they're not, then you should raise your prices. They won't stay high forever. And it doesn't mean that it'll last forever. But this, when it comes down to it, we are in business.
Yeah.
And our business is in selling or reselling items. And if there is something that is popular, like we talked about, things that are topical, like the things with koalas and anything that had to do with Australia because of, the issues that have been happening with the fires in Australia, and wildlife dying. This is a very similar thing. It is what it is.
Well, like Chris says,
it's popular.
You're a brand, and this is how it works. And there's a difference between, being a jerk about it, and celebrating it, and just knowing that, I have product I have inventory that pertains to this, and it's part of your business. So.
Yeah, like Bear Kitty says, raise the price or keep it, whatever makes you feel good, but there's nothing wrong with feeding the demand. And I did something similar when, trying to think of who it was. Oh, when David Bowie passed away, I actually jumped online real quick. And I've done it with a couple of people. If you jump online real quick and snag items before people raise their prices, you can flip. I purchased a signed photograph for like $35 that, luckily the person delivered to me very quickly, and I flipped it for $450 within 10 days.
Just don't be a jerk about it. But like, I saw Star commenting, and she was like, when Stan Lee passed away, and she's a big fan of geek stuff, and she's like, when Stan Lee passed away, it's like she was grateful, and her and many other fans were grateful to be able to go and find stuff to buy, because they wanted to buy stuff to have it, because it's a way of people grieve and stuff like that. Anyway, it's a complicated issue. The point is, try not to be a jerk to people, and if you don't like seeing it, then when somebody that you really care about that's famous passes away, maybe stay off the interwebs for a little bit, because you're going to see that kind of stuff. Anyway, all right, do we want to jump into our numbers?
Yes.
Yes. Well, let's do that.
Let's get it over with.
Let's get it over with. Oh, I was like, let's get it over with. I guess, yeah, it is pretty sad. But it's funny because, guys, if you watched, especially the last couple of weeks, our numbers have been really, really close between the two of us, and just barely. Like, I think the last couple of weeks, like, I beat you by a little bit gross, and then you managed to beat me both times net. We're still super close. Apparently, we decided to
have our sales at the same time.
Have our sales plummet dramatically. I think both of our sales dropped by like more than 30%.
Yeah.
But yeah, we decided to do it together. So
and look at that. How eBay reseller and thrift king says my hair looks fantastic today. Oh, he said awesome, but I'll go with fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you. We look spiffy today. We're going out after
There you
the
go.
show. We
There
have
you go.
a 1-year-old's birthday party to go to, and then we have our friend's birthday party tonight, who is turning 36 for like the 15th time or more. So you know, we won't say how many times he's been 36, but it's several.
So she sells resale. I'm going to assume this is Deb says both of you get 5 Zach Morrisons for your hair today. Yeah, you know, my hair's
that's going to be Deb. I'm going to call that one right now. That's Deb, because
my hair's getting a little bit long. It's at the point where it's like I never know if it's going to look good or not. Today was a decent hair day for shaping it and whatnot. Anyway, let's go to my numbers. So I had 31 outgoing eBay orders and 8 Etsy outgoing orders. Actually, one of those Etsy orders is actually something I sold to one of our viewers. So I just threw it into the Etsy there. So total number of 39 items going out this week. My eBay gross sales, $1,840.57. My Etsy's been real slow too. So I don't know that it's just an eBay problem this week. It might just be that for whatever reason people aren't shopping this week. So Etsy, $478.13. So my total gross sales, $2,318.70. Now, for anyone that's been watching the last couple of weeks, you know, we've both been well over $3,000 gross sales the last couple of weeks before. So it's definitely a drop. Shipping, $158.91. Promotion fees between eBay and Etsy, $129.24. And then you can see the final value fees for both eBay and Etsy there. Total cost, $552. Cost of goods, $280. So my total net sales after costs, $1,486.65. You can see my average sale price dropped quite a bit this week from last week. I mean, I like to keep it over 50, but lately it's been like up in the 70s, even the 80s. I'm back down to $59.45. I had a lot of items sell for lower amounts. And so my net average sale price after all costs, $38.12. Real quick, I'm going to hop on over here because I see that Noelle just dropped a $10 super chat.
A super chizzy.
She says, hey. I'm assuming she's saying it that way. Hey. Just want to say thanks, Katy. Just sold a vintage Seahawks t-shirt for $80, paid $1 in an estate sale. And she says that I'm her inspiration. I'm pretty sure when she listens to Chicago, she thinks of me. And I'm the meaning in her life. I'm her inspiration. Yeah, pretty much.
You bring meaning to
my life. You're the inspiration.
That's
just like
bad.
that.
That's
well,
bad.
at least I was selling it. You're all like, you can't be scared. You gotta like sing.
I'm not scared.
You gotta sing from the heart. Sing from the heart.
And I'm sitting down. I'm compressing my diaphragm.
Oh, okay. Sorry about your diaphragm.
You don't sing when your diaphragm is being compressed.
Whatever. Sorry about it, guys. Anyway, thank you so much, Noelle. I appreciate it. And congrats on that amazing sale. All right. So let's go ahead. Oh, and thanks for supplementing my bad sales for this last week. I'm going to put that $10, tack it on to my money. And
woohoo. You mean the $7.
How dare you? All right. So let's jump over to Vikki. What you got?
Mine's not too great. So I did 29 orders on eBay, which is pathetic. And 6 on Etsy, but they're all on Etsy. So 6 in a week for me is pretty good on Etsy, for a total of 35 orders. $16.65 on eBay, $4.80 on Etsy, for a total of $21.45 for the week. I was down about $1,000 from last week.
Mm-hmm.
So my shipping is $261. As you guys know, my shipping is always higher than Katy's because it is including hard goods, and I do have a couple of international orders on there. So my promoted listing fees, again, I have everything very low, and I do think that something has absolutely changed once eBay changed the promoted listing program in the way that they were showing things. Because here's the thing, I promote everything at trending rate, and I have done that for about a year now. And my promoted listing fees were always around $100 a week, and that was fine. Now they're down to $23 a week and $30 a week, which means that I am still selling, but I'm not selling as many items using promoted listings, if that makes sense.
I will say this week, my promoted listing fees on eBay doubled from last week. It was like 60 something, which is lately it's been down like to like 30.
Yeah, it's real low. So eBay final value fees, Etsy final value fees. My total costs about $622. My cost of goods relatively low this week at $143. So my net for the week is $1379, or let's call it $1380, which is low. It's very low for me. I like to be at least $1,500 to $1,800 net. So my gross average sale price is pretty good. I'd like to be around 60 or higher, and my net is $39.43. So what did we end up? What was our difference there? Not too
well.
You definitely.
I think usually you try to say 50 or higher. You said 60 or higher there, but yours tends to be a little bit lower. But you beat me this week. You're 61. Your average sale price, you 61.29. I'm 59.45. But guys,
again, our net was off by less than $100.
Guys, it took us dramatically tanking our sales for me to finally beat Vikki on total net sales. So it's a bittersweet victory, but I'm 1486 and she's 1379, 1380. Suck it, pink hair lady. Suck it.
All right.
Anyway, that's
you win. That's a bit dramatic.
I win the loser.
You win your loser contest of $80. Woohoo!
Anyway, guys, those are our numbers for the week. A little sad, but I did want to say one other exciting thing is that I don't know if you guys watched the video that Vikki did earlier a couple days ago. She did a special video with List Perfectly to show their new bulk listing tool, and it's crazy awesome and amazing. And let me tell you, so Vikki's been using List Perfectly for months. They are one of our sponsors of our channel, so we do love them. But I will say I have been holding out forever. One of the things that I was waiting for is for them to add a platform that I was excited about, because I'm like, Mercari, Posh, like none of it really excited me. But then I heard that they were planning on adding Grailed, and I was like, okay, if you add Grailed, I will be in. So they added Grailed, I think like a couple weeks ago, and I still was kind of dragging my feet. And then they added this bulk listing tool. And I was like, okay, I'm finally going to do it. I finally signed up, got my account, my List Perfectly account. I already had a Grailed account that I had like 2 items on for the last 2 years. And I went ahead and used the bulk listing tool to, I'm starting with like my most expensive stuff first. And I did like 20 of them yesterday, but it literally took me 20 minutes. And that was with me there's like a little bit of a learning curve, because you have to figure out like what.
Well, you had never used List Perfectly before.
Well, not just List Perfectly, but I had to get used to I literally only had 2 listings on Grailed, so it's not like I was really used to their listing form.
Right.
But with that bulk thing, it like pops up all the tabs for all these listings, and then you do have to go in and make little adjustments. So once I kind of got the feel for it, I was faster and faster and faster, but it was still less than a minute per listing to like cross that stuff over.
I am up to 220 listings on Posh. I have been listing on Posh for 3 days, and I've been using the bulk cross-posting tool. I haven't sold anything yet, but I'm 25% to Posh Ambassador so far due to my VA, who is following and sharing, because I don't even know how to do that. All I'm doing is getting the listings up there, and then I have hired someone to do following and sharing to parties and all that kind of crap that has to do with it, because that's the stuff that I absolutely am not going to do. I'm just not going to do it, and that's why I haven't been on Posh. So I'm hiring someone to do that for me. I'm going to get the listings up there and see what happens. So
how long does it take you, like, per listing, you think?
So the most I've been able to do is, I was just talking about this with the List Perfectly girls in their Facebook group. I can tab open 45 items is the max that I can do. So 45. I tab them off and they all open one at a time. So I've got 45 open tabs across the top of my computer.
Go watch the video, guys. Basically, you can just select a whole bunch of listings, and then you just hit a button and it pops open all the tabs in the new platform that you're crossing to. And then you just go through that.
It takes well under a minute to cross post each item. So I have found that if you do 25 and fewer, it's very fast as far as populating them. And also it all depends on your internet speed. Let's be fair. We have strong internet speed, and the List Perfectly lady says that I'm faster than them. So our speed is better than theirs at their headquarters.
Yeah.
So I get it open and I do 45, and I can cross post 45 items in under 45 minutes. And for me, that's great. So my plan is to do about 50 to 100 a day, and until I can get everything listed up there that I want to, because I'm not going to do a lot of I might do some blankets and things like that. I'm not going to do a lot of my antiques and hard goods, but I might do some home goods, but it's mostly just the clothing and shoes I want to get over there. So I'm pretty excited.
It's so cool. The thing is, like, so when I started doing Etsy with regularity a little over a year and a half ago, that was before there was a list perfectly to use. And so it's like, and it was stuff that was already listed on eBay. So it's not like I had the pictures handy anymore. And so I had to go through each listing. I had to download the pictures from eBay, and then I had to open up a listing on Etsy and upload the pictures. And it really did take some time. So it is so crazy. Like, now that I'm doing Grailed, it's like I'm doing like 10 at a time just because I don't want too many tabs open. But I just, click on the 10 things, hit the button for Grailed, and it like automatically opens them all up, and all the pictures are already there. And I don't have to do anything. I don't have to rearrange the pictures.
Gee, I don't know. I have only been telling you this since I've been using it.
Okay. She says that, but it's not like I didn't believe her. I'm not saying I didn't believe you. My point is, it's so fast and so easy. It's pretty cool. So I'm loving it. I can see Deb Smith says she just upgraded to pro level and was perfectly.
Yeah, we have the pro level, which is amazing, because you can create your own templates and store as many templates as you want, and there's absolutely everything cross posts over. I'm not going to turn this into another list perfectly commercial, but it is a fantastic product. If you haven't checked it out yet, we do have the referral link down below, and the video that I did earlier this week shows you just a little bit hands-on how it works. I just absolutely love it. You definitely need to have Chrome as an extension, because that's what it is. It is a Chrome extension. If you are operating on a different platform, you need to make sure your other platforms are closed when you are trying to use Chrome. So Jen, if you've tried it and it keeps crashing, that's a tech issue. That's probably because you have a different platform open.
Yeah. So, and here's the thing, guys, third-party tools aside, if you haven't started branching onto other platforms, I really think it's a big mistake. My 2019 sales were absolutely saved by me being on Etsy. My eBay sales were down dramatically in 2019. I was like probably almost $20,000 less gross revenue on eBay from 2018. But because of my Etsy store, because I had added Etsy and I was committed to it and I built that store up, I still, my gross revenue overall 2019 is up from 2018. So if you have not started branching out to more than one platform, I think you're making a mistake. And List Perfectly is just one of those third-party apps, software that's going to make it so that you can actually do that. And it's a lot easier. So
are we done?
Yeah,
with
we're
our
done.
List Perfectly
Sorry.
commercial.
Sorry.
Let's get back to the show.
Sorry. All right, let's see. Let's start looking at some of these cool things that we sold this week. Starting with you.
So I talk about this vintage tech in general sells pretty well. This isn't super old, it's 90s, but when was the last time you had a home phone with an answering machine with an actual cassette in it? It's been a bit, right? So I purchased this for $3.50 at thrift store. It is not new, it's used. And it was on 50% off day. It's complete, it's used, it's even a little dingy. And it sold for, I took an offer for $80.
Nice.
It's been there for about a week.
What are they doing with it?
I don't know.
That's just weird. I do have to say, we never, in my family, we never had an answering machine with the tape.
Well, we had one. We had
my sister did. And in fact, I think my sister might even still have it. Like, I can still call my sister, and if nobody answers the phone, I can start yelling, and I know that they can hear me, like, in the house. But you know how you could do that?
Yes.
Well, yeah. You can't do that now with voicemail, but my sister still had it.
Pick up the phone.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's Auntie. Come on. Why do you hate me? Because, you know, I have to turn it personal. So
Sandra says the days of running home to erase the message from the principal. That's so true. Oh my God, she just gave me a flashback.
That's good stuff.
The automated phone call. Your child was absent from school today.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so first one for me is, I'm sorry, Kara, if you're watching. This did sell, the rainforest t-shirt that you really like. Anyway, it's just a really cool rainforest animals. It's got like frogs and lizards and all kinds of stuff, and it's got, the back of it's really cool because it's got a leopard on it. But this sold pretty quickly. I ended up getting an offer for $80, and it was a buyer in the UK. So, you know, not only $80, but I probably made more like 90 on it because they paid for the shipping, and I had made a little bit on top of it. So I couldn't really turn that down, especially with the way the rest of my sales were this week. So it was a good sale. All right, next one for you.
Oh, yep, Kara's there. Wow,
sorry.
So this was something that I had picked up at Savers. I've had it maybe a month or two. I'm pretty sure I paid about $10 for it.
It's real fancy.
I took an offer for $85 on this. This was a free one. This was before my shipping had changed, and I started charging shipping. Not that I'm charging a lot, but I'm charging a little bit. So I took an offer, and it actually only went 1 or 2 states over, so it wasn't too bad. It is very bulky. It's huge. It's a big, thick sweater coat.
Fancy. Very nice. All right, next one for me. Check it out, guys. I survived Halloween Horror Nights.
Wow, you didn't have this listed long at all.
No, and the thing is, like, there were other ones listed, but the other ones that were listed were all for, is it Orlando? Is that the other Universal Studios? This is the Hollywood one, because so Hollywood Horror Nights started, I can't remember what year, like 91 or 92 in Orlando, but this was only the second year of Hollywood. And I, was doing my research, and I actually found on WorthPoint, and I do use WorthPoint quite a bit, but I found on WorthPoint an old one that had sold years ago, like a few years back. But the nice thing about it, it was the only listing. I saw a sticker still attached to the shirt, and I could see it said glow in the dark. None of the other listings said anything about it glowing in the dark. So the only reason I knew that is because I saw it on WorthPoint. And so of course I ran into the bathroom, turned off the lights, and nothing happened. And so then I turned the lights back on. I held the shirt up to the light and for like maybe 20 seconds, and then I turned the lights off. And guys, check this out. It totally still glows in the dark. Look at how cool that looks.
That is cool.
I love it. So it's basically all the lettering on the back. It's got that glow in the dark. But if you guys don't know, anything that glows in the dark, you just activate it with, I don't know if it's heat or light.
Light.
But you can activate it with light. So just like hold it up to a light bulb and it'll work. But anyway, yeah, I took an offer for $85 and I was pretty happy with that. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, glow in the dark, sweet. All right, next one for you.
I showed this in last week's haul, and generally I don't have new items roll into my weekly sale, but I forgot to check that little thing off so that it didn't. So unfortunately, this did roll into my my weekly sale, but I figured I was going to get somewhere around 75 for this when all was said and done. Some people sell them, they undersell them, but this sold for what you see there, $93.56. It went and shipped to California. It sold pretty fast. It sold within like 2 or 3 days.
I love it. It's pretty cool.
I paid $10 for it. Sorry, I paid $10 at the garage sale, at the estate sale last weekend. Listed it Monday or Tuesday of this week, maybe even Wednesday. I don't know. Anyway, it sold already. So
yeah. So Sandra is real excited because apparently she had that same keyboard that she would rock out on all the time when she was failing 9th grade. She's probably spending too much time playing on her Casio and not doing her homework is what probably was happening, in my opinion. All right, next one for me is this awesome 80s Michael Jackson Beat It t-shirt. Now this is kind of a not as exciting of a home run as I would have hoped it to be. So maybe like almost a year ago, I bought this one and another one. This was a small, and I think the other one was a medium. They were both the same shirt, and I bought it off a guy in a thrifted streetwear group. And I paid him $75. So $75 with free shipping, or $75
for both.
For both. And it took forever to sell the first one. I think the first one I sold for like $80. And then this one, I ended up taking an offer for $92. So I definitely made money, but it wasn't like I made the money I was hoping I would make, and it took forever.
It could be the subject matter.
Yeah, well, that's true, but give me a break. Michael Jackson stuff still sells a lot and still sells for high prices. So anyway, so it just took forever, but I did double my money basically. So it's all right. It just took a million years. All right, next one for you.
So this is something I'd picked up when we were on our way to Phoenix to hang out with Teresa back and Liz Kane and the other ladies back in, when did we go? October this time?
Something like that.
Either October or November. I can't remember when we went. I really don't. My mind is blank. So it wasn't listed all that long, a few months anyway. And I had paid about $10 for this at a Goodwill.
It's hideous.
It is hideous. I did take an offer on this. I sold it for $125. Yeah, it's pretty hideous.
Hideous. Who's wearing this?
I don't know.
Oh man.
Somebody in New York.
Apparently.
That's where it went.
Wow. Pretty fancy stuff. All right. This is another one that sold pretty fast. I think I just had it either in last week's haul or the week before. But this is a Super Bowl chalk line Fanimation jacket. So the Fanimation ones are these ones that have the graphic, the all over print graphic that goes all over the back. And this one particular one's for the Super Bowl. And it's cool because it was a Super Bowl that took place in New Orleans. So it's got Bourbon Street on the back of it. And so it's pretty neat.
And it has the 49ers.
That too, but it doesn't actually have the teams on it. You just have to know. You just have to know which teams played in that Super Bowl. But otherwise, it's really just the football jacket that's got the French Quarter in it. So anyway, I took an offer for $150, and I was very happy to get that. So based on comps and everything, I was like 50 or 150. Heck yeah!
What'd you pay for it?
I believe I paid like $40 tops. It may have been 30, but I think no more than 40. I bought it from.
Yeah, a lot of Katy stuff has been flipping real fast lately.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much mine. Mine sits.
Well, I'm definitely paying up a lot, but I'm buying stuff that's a lot more interesting and is more likely to grab attention. Like I'm finding that I list stuff and almost all of it gets watchers right away. More so than
my stuff never has watchers. So.
Yeah. So, all right, next one for you.
So another blanket. This doesn't look like anything special, right? It's just a waffle weave. If you show a photo close up what waffle weave means, waffle weave looks like this. So the satin edge or the satin trim edge blanket. I picked it up for $4 or $5 maybe. It's a Ralph Lauren blanket, but it really doesn't matter what the brand is. This one is going to Canada. I sold it on Etsy.
You sold it for?
I sold it for $64 plus they paid $29 for shipping.
Did they like make an offer or something?
No, because
so that's a weird amount.
Yeah. So they made an offer because I had another blanket that was similar. So I changed the price for them. But generally speaking, I'm going to get anywhere from $55 to $75 on any type of those waffle weave blankets. I'm breaking it here. I never talk about these. I talk about all kinds of blankets. I never talk about these. I've kind of kept this one close to the vest. These waffle weave blankets, you only know about this if you actually stock my store. And I know some people do. And that's okay. That's why we tell you what it is. But I pick these up for anywhere from $2 to $5 all the time. And I sell every single one.
Well, they just look so boring.
It doesn't matter who makes them. It doesn't really matter who makes them. If they're made by a company called Chatham, that's actually the best. But frankly, it doesn't matter as long as they're made in the USA. And they're really soft and they have the satin ribbon edge. They sell well. Anywhere from $55 to $75, any size.
Yeah. Sandra, you cannot eat waffle weave blankets. I don't care how much maple syrup you put on them. I would highly advise against that kind of behavior. So you might want to stop. Anyway. All right, next one for me. All right, let's get into the Super Bowl, guys. So 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. And so, of course, we were talking about when something sad happens and how things sell really fast. Same thing when good things happen. And in this case, when your team is going to the Super Bowl, suddenly you want to make sure you've got some sweet clothes
some swag to wear.
You got to show like not only are you a 49ers fan, but you're old school. You are old school 49ers fan.
You're not a bandwagon fan.
You've got your vintage, your sweet vintage. So I actually have, obviously because of where we're located, we come across a lot of 49ers stuff. So I have quite a bit in my store. So I didn't particularly price anything up beyond what it was already priced at when it turned out they were going to the Super Bowl.
That is a banger, as the kids would say.
It's really nice. And again, guys, this is one of those nutmeg,
sold at Kmart.
Sold at Kmart, which I think you have one coming up that's a lead brand. Sold at Kmart, but it doesn't matter. It's a nice graphic. It looks really cool. So this one sold, it's on 10% off sales, nothing crazy, 10% off. So it was $43.19. But like I said, I have a bunch of 49er stuff. So I'd rather sell a bunch of it than sit on it.
So Dupage J Picker says, if you have anything with the Budweiser frogs, they sell Super Bowl time the last few years. Good to know.
Interesting. So Chris wants to know if Chiefs are banned on Etsy. No, it's only the Redskins. They have not done anything yet. As far as I've looked before.
They're equally offensive, to be fair, but they have not done anything with the Chiefs yet.
No, they have
not.
And
a lot of different teams have chiefs or Indian chiefs as their type of
Yeah.
mascot.
No, they have not done anything like that. Okay, so next one for you. Speaking of,
yep, this was my Etsy sale. I paid $10 for this, I believe, at yesterday's fits.
Yep.
It wasn't 5, so it was definitely 10. I wouldn't have paid more than 10.
Well, this one isn't even Lee. This one's like oh man, it's even worse than that, guys. This is like plain old NFL brand, which most people would tell you is like so meh. But seriously, guess who sold it?
Me.
Me.
I did put Lee brand. Is it not Lee brand? I don't know.
For some reason, yeah, you have Lee.
Back.
Does it say Lee?
No, maybe not.
Doesn't really matter. It's not like you said it was some really expensive brand. That's why I thought it was Lee, but it's actually just the plain old NFL brand. But again, people just want their cool 49ers stuff. So let's see what you magically turned this crappy NFL brand into. What?
And it sold for what you see there.
$99.95. Are you charging for shipping on that too, or no?
No, it's free shipping.
$99.
It was Etsy.
$95. That's ridiculous. So seriously, guys, don't get caught up too much in brands. It also just matters what it looks like, because it is actually a pretty cool sweatshirt. All right, next one for me is this sweet New Orleans Saints sweatshirt. So I had another New Orleans Saints sweatshirt this year that I sold. I think I sold it for like $70 or something like that. I just don't come across it very much. And I don't think it's just because we're not anywhere near New Orleans. I think there's just not as much. There's some teams go way crazy with their merchandising, and I just feel like the Saints don't as much. You just don't find it all over the place as much as you do some other stuff. Like Steelers, I find Steelers stuff constantly, but never find Saints stuff, and so it sells really, really well. So this is actually one that
I just think, like I said earlier, this week we were talking about this. I think some teams are definitely far more prolific with their advertising and marketing and merchandising than others. I don't think every team markets as well, because I think that some have a smaller fan base, let's say. And that's reflected by the price of their tickets and how whether the stadiums are full every week or not, and stuff like that. So,
but the thing is, the Saints have a rabid fan base, a rabid Who Dat fan base. They love them some Drew Brees. So I feel like when you do come across stuff like this, it goes really, really well. And this was actually yesterday's Fits had it up on their Instagram, and I was like, ooh, I want that. And I think I paid $25 or $30, 30 tops for it, because I knew I would be able to sell it really well. And I literally had it listed for 2 or 3 days, and I sold it for $99.99. Plus I paid like $10 tax practically. So they paid almost $110 for this sweatshirt, guys. And it was really only up for a couple of days.
Crazy.
Yep. So it's just, nuts. If that person would have been paying attention to yesterday's Fits Instagram, they could have bought it for $40, guys, or 45, I think is what they had it listed for. So anyway, whoop whoop.
So I have had this one listed quite a while. If you take a look at it, I mean, you can see why. It's yellowed. It's also a dot matrix printer, because, who the hell is using a dot matrix printer? But I sold everything. I bought this big grouping of Commodore things. It's got to be almost a year now. I bought the computer, the monitor, all that kind of stuff. I priced it out individually, and I sold everything fairly quickly for several $100s. And this last piece has been lingering for quite a bit. And I had it listed pretty high, but it's also big and bulky and heavy. And I mean, just look at it. It's ridiculous. So customer contacted me and said, would you take X number of dollars for this, because it was on Etsy? And I said, yes, I would. Especially because of where they were located. And they needed it for something, I believe, as a prop. And that's okay. And that's why I buy a lot of these things, because they sell for props. So I would say I probably have about $15 invested in that if I were to break it down over all the pieces that I sold. And it sold for...
And you had 20% off sale going?
$160. That was the offer, yeah. This one sold for $160. I did have shipping was $29.95. And it cost me $15 with eBay's new FedEx. I'm sorry, that's not true. That's a different item.
You're full of lies.
It's a different item I'm thinking of. It cost me $25 to ship this, because I used my own FedEx account.
And you had to ship it in 2 different packages, unfortunately. But
it's okay.
Still awesome sale. All right, so let's wrap this up, guys, with one last Super Bowl bash sale.
That looks fuzzy. Katy, you took
a
fuzzy photo?
It's not fuzzy. It's just
out of focus?
No, it's really just the it's like a little faded.
Uh-huh.
I promise you.
I think you're full of crap.
No,
I think it might be slightly fuzzy.
I'm telling you the truth. It's just kind of
well, that's a different picture, ding dong.
I know, but I'm trying to show you that the print itself is like
your
that.
first photo's out of focus.
You're a liar. You're full of lies. Anyway, so this is a reverse weave champion sweatshirt, and if you guys were watching, I think it was last week, Vikki was yelling at me that I better get my the sweatshirt listed, because apparently she doesn't pay attention to the fact that I list all of my stuff every week, but she felt the need to yell at me anyway because she's very abusive.
You're such a jerk.
So I listed it. I already list my reverse weave stuff pretty high, but because they're going to the Super Bowl, I went ahead and priced it up even more. And let's see what I sold it for. $150. Did not go into the sale, and so $150 is what this sold for. Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're favored to win, aren't they?
Even with your out of focus photo.
You're so rude.
That. Oh, she can't take it.
You're so rude.
She cannot take it. Even Grandma Cheap Cheap is backing me up.
Oh, Grandma Cheap Cheap, bless your heart.
That photo.
Bless your heart, Grandma Cheap Cheap.
That photo was out of focus for sure.
I would, however, like to point out that Vikki just hit me hard. She slapped me. You guys don't even know it.
Yes. You know that it's still visible.
No, I just switched it over. Anyway, so that's it for our sales highlights.
Let's get into the haul.
Let's get into this haul. What you got? You can start. What do you got?
Oh, I can start?
Yeah,
jerk face. All right. Well, I didn't know I was going to start.
You always start. This is nothing new.
It is new. It is new.
Mm-hmm.
Darn you. I don't have my stuff near me.
Yeah.
All right. So let me start with a couple little things here. I had picked these up. So one of the things we said, we talked about, we went to a friend's house. And yes, I love Britton. He makes me laugh.
See, Britton, they're basically I under promised and I'm going to over deliver. So there you go.
That's exactly what happened right there. All right, I'm going to do some hard goods first. Sorry, guys, I wasn't ready.
Well,
anyway, one of our viewers who is in our meetup group, who is a new friend of ours, her name is Jenna. I don't know if she's watching or not, but she is a big time Posh seller, and I'm hoping she's going to help me a little bit with my Posh transition, since I have bitten the bullet and now I'm on Posh and I don't even want to be, but I'm hoping I make some sales.
Don't be a crybaby.
Anyway, went to her home. She had actually bought out a huge estate herself, and picked through the things that she was interested in keeping and wanted to quick flip a lot of the other things. So we went to go see her at her home and purchase some items from her at wholesale for us to sell. So a couple of things that I picked up were, and I'm only going to show a few of them, is a bunch of these vintage new with tags baseball hats. So I don't know where the person, I think the person probably worked for the Mariners, the Seattle Mariners farm team, because a lot of the stuff is farm team stuff.
Yeah.
So new with tags, vintage, the Seattle Mariners baseball team, they have a farm team in Arizona, and a lot of this stuff is with that. So it's 1994 Cactus League hats. I paid about $3 a piece. 20th anniversary, 1995 All West champions. I'll have to take a look and see. Look at us, regular Super Bowl Seattle Seahawks and Steelers hat. Everything's new. America League West champions. I think I can get $25 to $30 a piece for these hats. I hate hats, but I couldn't pass them up because they were different and they were vintage and they were new. So one of the things I'm going to look into is see if there are any fantastic people that were on the team back then when it was a farm team that went up to go into the Mariners that ended up, or other teams actually could have gotten farmed into other teams that are like huge players. So that's going to kind of make a difference in sales. I might, spend a good 10 minutes doing some research.
Ooh.
I also picked up from her for about $3 a piece also, Rainbow Bright, vintage Rainbow Bright sheets. This is just the fitted sheet, but I can still sell this for $25 or $30. And the same thing with a vintage Barney early 90s flat sheet. I can still also sell this for about $30. Nothing super exciting. But this one, if Alexis happens to be watching, is one of the funny ones too. I always say pick up vintage vintage maxi pads, vintage tampons, vintage things that are in boxes because they tend to sell really well. And this is where they definitely sell for props. This is from the mid 80s. And then these should sell for about $40 a piece.
Ridiculous.
This is pretty funny. I would not have necessarily picked this up, but I did quick look it up. Probably, you know, one of the people I hate most musically, Justin Bieber. And it is a fake guitar type thing.
Keytar.
Jams guitar. But it's new in the box. And I actually looked it up real quick. I didn't think, because kind of like Britney Spears and Hannah Montana and all that stuff, there's so much of it out there. I didn't think there was any value to it. But I paid about $10 and it looks like I can sell it for like 75 bucks.
What is wrong with people?
I don't know.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. But yeah, so
I for one am disgusted.
You're disgusted.
Disgusted.
I showed a couple of bags last week, and I always continue to pick these up when I find them. I picked this up for $3, and it's just a briefcase, camera, briefcase, laptop bag. It's padded, HP, anything that has to do with tech or computer tech. I'll probably sell it for $40 to $50. It's a nice bag, very nicely made. And $3 into $40 to $50 is always a good deal. And now you can go.
Now I can go. Set that aside for the moment. All right. So I'm gonna start with some sweatshirts. So I did a little bit of whenever I'm listing something that I have, I will go and do like a little quick search to see what else is out there, looking for comps, blah blah blah. And occasionally I'll come across something and be like, ooh, I want to buy that. And so this Monsters of the Midway. This is a Ditka Sweatshirt from, I think it's 1992. And I looked it up when I bought it, and I can't remember. There's something, it has some significance, the whole Monsters of the Midway, but I think it's just an awesome sweatshirt. I think I paid like $15 for it. I haven't listed it yet, but I will try to get at least like 70 or so out of it. But I just thought it was kind of a funny vintage sweatshirt. You can see there's the tag right there for the Fruit of the Loom. This tag you'll see in the 80s and the 90s. But I'm pretty stoked about that. It's funny. It's funny. So this is something, I think I got this when we were in Mesquite. This is a vintage 90s sweatshirt, and it's got Gateway embroidered on it. Now I'm assuming, I haven't looked up, I'm assuming that's Gateway as in like the computer, it's a tech thing. Gateway computers, I'm going to assume. I haven't like looked it up, so I don't remember if that is the correct logo or anything like that, but it says Gateway. This is a jerseys tag. This is one of the later 90s jersey tags made in the USA. So I'll probably try to sell this for like around like $50 or something like that. But I always go for the vintage tech stuff, as you guys know. Speaking of vintage tech, here is, I feel like this, did I grab, I don't remember if I got this, no, I think I got this at Yesterday's Fits. I was trying to remember if I got this from Jenna or Yesterday's Fits.
Yesterday's Fits.
Yesterday's Fits.
So speaking of tech,
I was going to say, I feel like you would have grabbed it for sure, but this is an Apple sweatshirt. This is the Hanes tag. It's definitely 90s. It might be earlier 90s, but definitely 90s. And I haven't looked anything up on this, but it's the Mac Academy, so I'm assuming it was like, probably some education class you could take to learn how to best use your Mac or whatever. But it's an Apple one. It's in really nice condition. It's a really nice blue sweatshirt. Not dead stock, but it's in pretty fabulous condition. I think I paid like $20 for it. But I mean, that Mac stuff, Apple stuff I always price up pretty high, so I might start it at like 100.
Yeah, Gateway had the cow spots. That was my first desktop computer that I purchased for myself in '93. It was a Gateway. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll have to look at I'll have to look and see what their logo, the history of their logo has been, because it might be an earlier logo. Anyway, so I always talk about especially when I go to like Savers, now that like vintage streetwear is really like hitting a peak. I mean, I don't know, it's probably gonna keep going for a long time, but you go into Savers and it's like the men's section is just overrun, and it's like good luck with a bunch of bros. Good luck finding anything unless it just came out. It's tough to find stuff. But what's always been my saving grace a lot of places is I go into the women's section, and at Savers, it's all about the t-shirt section, and they call it, it's like long sleeve fit, or was it athletic wear, right? They call it athletic wear.
I have no idea. I don't look at the titles of the
because I'm looking, they're in different spots in different locations. Anyway, it's athletic wear, long sleeve athletic wear. That's where like sweatshirts will be. And I can usually see, I'll go slowly. I won't look at every piece, but I'll go slowly and see if I can recognize something vintage. And sure enough, here's a really cool 80s Mickey Mouse sweatshirt. This one's Chicago. It's got this 80s velvet sheen. I like the velvet sheen tag on it. It's a little bit worn and faded, but this is like the classic Mickey Mouse.
Classic Mickey
stance. And so these vintage ones go for quite a bit.
Walt Disney Company by Velveteen.
Mm-hmm.
It's all copywritten.
Yep. And I like the Chicago. I think it's pretty cool. So I'll probably try to sell this one for like $70 or so. It's nice and worn in and everything. And then before I hand it over to you, I wanted to talk really, really quick about, so here's this Bon Jovi t-shirt. Check it out. Check it out. Now, when I got this, it had, I think I paid like $30 for it. It had a big stain right here, and I think it had a couple of stains down below. And what I've been doing lately, and it's like my whole life has changed, guys. This has been a life-changing moment for me, is I've been going nuts with these bleach tablets. Now, I think you can get like the brand name, like the Clorox ones, but the Clorox ones are really expensive. It's like you only get 12 of them, and it's like $6 or something like that for a thing. And this is, there's 32 of them in there, and it's like $2. They have them at Walmart. But I've been taking like all of our white stuff and throwing it into the washing machine on hot. And I put in like, depending on how many I put in there, I put 4 of these into like.
The whole house smells like bleach.
It's not that bad. But I put 4 of these tablets into the washing machine with probably like 8 t-shirts is how many I did this time. And with hot water. And then I'll put detergent in there too. And seriously, it completely, like this shirt, I mean, you're right here. It's nothing.
It's white.
It's very white. Any stains are gone. It didn't hurt the graphic on it at all. It looks amazing. And guys, if you remember last week, I showed this shirt. I don't know if you could tell in the camera.
Oh, it was disgusting.
It was so gross and stained. And this is the one that's got the signatures all over it. I bleached. This was in that same wash. You can see all the signatures. If you remember last week, Vikki was like, it's not going to hurt the signatures. All the signatures are still there. The bleach had no effect on them. It is pretty white. There's a little bit of discoloration on it still, but really all the staining is pretty much gone. And even after I put it in the wash with those bleach tablets, there were like 2 yellow stains right here it's like they were hanger-oners. They didn't want to go. And then
Bleach pen.
I busted this bad boy out. So I washed it with the bleach first and detergent. Used this bleach pen, really covered up the spot, and like half an hour later, gone. It's completely gone.
Commercial number 2 for bleach pens.
Well, guys, I'm serious. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. But if you go to down below, we have our store. Actually, I'm going to show it really quick. So.
As Allison says, damn, Gina works the diner all day.
Anyway, guys, there's a link down below to our Amazon page. And this is where we share some of the stuff that we use. So right here, it says reseller supplies. If you go to this page, I added those bleach tablets there. And, you know, they're cheaper if you go into, they have them at Walmart and they're only a couple of bucks, but even for $11 for 2 of them, that's a good deal. And then if you go scroll down, the bleach pens are right here too. And this price actually is cheaper than you get at the grocery store because you get a 4-pack for $10. So yeah, and we have like all of our other products that we use and stuff like that. But if you want to pick up some of the stuff, I'm telling you, this has seriously completely changed my destaining game. And like I said, look at that. Didn't hurt the graphic. Never would have thought that I could bleach the shit out of this and not have it ruin the graphic. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Or the signatures.
So yeah, someone said, yeah, but it's good timing because Bon Jovi is touring again. They've never not toured. They've never taken more than 2 years off. So yeah, they're always touring. I've seen them like 35 times.
So you want to go ahead?
Yeah. All right. So I've got just a couple of hard goods to do, and then I'll show some other ones. This is a brand that other people might have known about, but I didn't. So I just I don't pick up tons of shoes, but I do pick up shoes if I really think that they're nice quality. And these are these gorgeous suede with like pony hair, you know, leopard print on them. And the brand name is Taryn Rose. Let's see if we can find, you can see it on the bottom there. Taryn Rose, and they're very nicely made, and they felt nice and heavy. So I happened to look these up, and now this is where when you're doing comps on the wild, you got to be careful. So there's only one pair listed right now, and they're listed for $331. These are not $331 boots, but I did pay $15 for them, and I think I can get about 100. You know, I'm not going to get 300 for them. They don't even come close to selling for that, but they could sell for 85 to 100, 115 maybe. So you got to be careful to make sure that you look at solds when you're checking comps, because all I was able to find by finding that comp was the actual name of the style. So I didn't have to go crazy looking for that. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, yeah, those boots are pretty hot. Like I love these boots too. Actually, I would wear these if they were my size. They are not my size. I wear a size 9. These are a size 8. They're pretty hot boots. They look almost new. But the one thing I did pick up that is one of the hard goods that we were just talking about earlier. I picked up the estate sale week 2. What I picked up, this is the item. What I picked up was there were 4 in the box, and there was one of each item. So I guess a set. So what I saw peeking out was this little vintage thing right here. And to me, I looked at this. I saw 1940s off the top of my head. I knew that this was 1940s, and I knew it was Bakelite. What I thought it was an old stereo view, which is
kind of like a viewfinder.
Viewmaster. You know, the red Viewmaster things, you would click on them. So before they were red, they used to be black and brown, and there were a couple of different brands, and they would call them stereo view, and they would use it to view different slides. And those older ones from the 30s and the 40s do sell for 40 or 50 bucks a piece, sometimes more if they're a certain rare brand, not made by Viewmaster. So in my head, that's what I thought this was. I saw a box, I saw there were a couple, and I saw that they were new in the box. I was like, oh, I'm going to grab those. They're probably going to be about $5. What it is a stereo view and camera set. These are new. They're from the 1940s. This is like a tortoise shell Bakelite. They're brand new in the box. They're like 1940s. It comes with the original box, which was this. And then it has the stereo view. That's the camera. That's the viewer, and this is the camera. Sorry.
So they hook together?
They hook together.
I don't know how, but
anyway, these two things together sell for, I don't know exactly how, but these two things together sell for, there are absolutely none listed right now anywhere. There aren't any available. But the last ones that have sold anywhere from $150 to $200 for each piece. Together, I think I can get about $350 for each set. And I have 2.
That's crazy.
I paid $5. They're very rare, and people that collect cameras and collect stereo view items, these kind of cross that line into both genres of collection, and they're pretty rare. So I was really excited to find these. I didn't even know what I had. I just knew enough to know that it was Bakelite. I knew enough that it was 1940s-ish. And I knew that in my mind, I thought it was a stereo view. So when I got it home and looked at what it was, and then looked in the box and saw there were 2 sets, I was like, what in the what? What in the what? So I was super excited.
Cheryl says that is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I think I can get about 300 a piece for each set, maybe a little bit more. I did have to look up on WorthPoint for some of the prices. I do think some people sell them too low. A lot of people put things in auction. That is not an auction item. I'll tell you right now, if there's nothing available on eBay and you can't find any recent solds, putting it in auction, you are doing yourself a massive disservice, because it's going to take more than one auction cycle for your buyers to find that item.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you want to price it really high with a best offer and know what you want to take for it. So I will probably price it around 500 and accept anything over 300. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, I'm super excited by those. So that's, blew the wad early. That's the big item that I found. But I
might as well close up shop now.
I do want to show a couple of clothing items, and then we can go to Katy too. So,
yeah, Cheryl says that she always picks up vintage plastic items, and that she would have died.
Yeah, you totally would have picked that up, Cheryl. So this is all stuff that I purchased from Jenna, from her stuff. So one of the things is this vintage track jacket, Beverly Hills Sports Council. I thought this is pretty cool. This is vintage
cool.
80s track jacket, Latrell Sports. Not a brand name, but I think the style, it's nice. This little satin, fancy schmancy jacket. Again, I paid $3 on average per item, so I'll probably sell that for about 40-ish. Vintage 80s or 90s Peruvian Connection. This is a brand you should always pick up as well. I hardly ever find it with the tags on it, but Peruvian Collection. It's alpaca. It's an embroidered alpaca sweater. This should sell for around $100. And these are all vintage, new with tags, 90s polo. So polo Ralph Lauren, like cardigan sweaters, priced at $165 for that one. This one is a wool one, just a wool with the crest. It had a tiny hole, probably from hanging on the hanger right up here, and I did repair the hole. I will just disclose that in the listing. You can't even see it. This one was priced at $110. This is a lamb's wool one. Lamb. This one was priced at $135. Again, I'll probably these polo ones are probably going to be priced around $100 a piece for me. And this is another basic polo. There's no crest on this one, so this one will probably only sell for like 50-ish or so, because it's priced at $155. Nobody would know that this is polo really, except for the buyer. So probably around 50 for that one.
Yeah.
All right, and I will let you go, and then I'll go next.
So Simply Dana. Did I click on the right thing? It went away. Simply Dana wants to know about Awesome Oxygen. And earlier somebody asked if I was just using bleach now instead of the stuff I get from the Dollar Tree. So I can answer both of those questions. The LA's Awesome base cleaner is basically that oxygen stuff. So it comes in the tub. So I don't use it as much, but I still use it to make a paste when I'm trying to get stains out of something that I can't bleach. And so I mix the powder with some of the Blue Dawn dish soap and some water, and I use a toothbrush to get it into something. Or if I need to soak something that I can't necessarily bleach, I will soak it with that stuff as well. But I do find for a lot of the things, like one of the other things other little tip I'll give you guys is, gray sweatshirts and t-shirts, that kind of heather gray. I discovered that it does not bleach. So you can use bleach. You can run it in a load with bleach, or use the bleach pen to try to get a stain out. If you have like a yellow stain on like a gray sweatshirt, it will not bleach it white. It will not affect the color of the sweatshirt. It's really weird. I don't know the science behind it. I just know that it's another little thing that I've discovered that works really well for stains. So anyway, so Kara was asking if I had any more tie-dye, and I just might. I don't know if it's going to be anything that you're going to be interested in, Kara, but I think I have some tie-dye somewhere in here. Anyway, so a few things I got from yesterday's fits. This really awesome all-over print dragon t-shirt. Now this is very similar. There's just a dragon t-shirt that Liquid Blue has from the 90s that's very similar to this all-over print. This particular one is not Liquid Blue, but it is from the 90s, single stitch. And I did put it up for like $100. We'll see if it sells. I'd like to sell it for like at least $85, but it's just a really cool.
That's a pretty cool one.
Raised. But if you look it up, like the Liquid Blue, it looks almost identical to this, but there are some differences. And then I got a couple of really cool. I got some movie stuff, because you know me, I love movie t-shirts. I think this is one of the coolest things I picked up this week. And this was something that they actually listed on the yesterday's fits Instagram, and I was like, I want that one. Anyway, this is The Rocketeer. I don't know if you guys remember The Rocketeer. It was a 1991 Disney movie, I believe, with Billy Campbell. It's a superhero. What? It had Jennifer Connelly in it. You would have liked it because it was like World War II. He gets this rocket pack, and he's like a superhero. Don't tell me to wrap it up. Hey guys, would you like me to not speak as much? You're so rude.
I'm just telling you to keep going. We got a lot more to go through. We have a party to go to.
We're going to a 1-year-old's birthday party.
We're already going an hour late.
She's not going to remember Jack, and the rest of them aren't going to remember either because they're boozing it up. Come on. Anyway, this is The Rocketeer. Just an awesome, awesome movie. Great T-shirt. I believe I paid like $25 for this, but I have it listed. I think I have it listed for like $140, but I want to get like at least $100 for it. It's just a really cool. This particular one is not listed anywhere on eBay. This is the tag SSI. I see this a lot on like movie T-shirts. Just a really cool 90s tag. Anyway, yeah. See, Sandra says she hates going to kids' birthday parties. And they're really,
it's an obligation.
They're really just for. Well, I'm not talking you out of it, but they're really just for the adults because like the kids know what the heck's going on. Anyway, now this one's really cool. I have it priced pretty high. I don't know what's going to happen. So Michael Jackson, LA Gear. So in the late 80s, Michael Jackson and LA Gear came together, and Michael Jackson was supposed to do some music videos or like some commercials and stuff for LA Gear. And I know that like LA Gear actually ended up suing him because he didn't come through with his obligation on his side of things. But there's some really cool stuff from back then from that partnership. And you can see this is silver. I couldn't find any of these currently. You can't find any of these anywhere. I found one on a different website that's just like I don't even know what the website was, and they had it listed for $350. You will see on eBay the same shirt is listed as a reprint for like $18. There's this new thing. I mean, I know it's been happening for a long time, but I feel like especially recently because vintage T-shirts have gotten so popular. I know you're giving me that look. You're going to make me take longer if you keep doing that. Anyway, because vintage streetwear and stuff like that has become so popular, you're going to see more and more if you look for like a band T-shirt or anything. There's all these like reprints, and they're totally unlicensed. They're printed on Gildan tags, and they're coming from China. And it sucks because there's a bunch of these listed, but they're not legit. And this is like the real deal. And I think this shirt will probably sell. It could sell for a couple $100 at least because it's really unique, and there aren't any other ones currently out there available.
What they do is whoever these sellers are is they look at the highest priced T-shirts, and then they go and create a replica and put a replica up.
Yep. And they when you look at the listings, they look identical. They do say they're reprints, but it just sucks because I think it brings the value down a little bit. I think it kind of it waters down the market for it, in my opinion. So anyway, you can go ahead.
So I still have everything that I'm showing here is stuff that I picked up from Jenna as a reseller. So one of the things that I picked up, and again, everything was an average of about $3 an item. I purchased a lot of items. This is a vintage, kind of a boxy type of swing coat. This is vintage Armani. So it's Giorgio Armani. It's wool. It's actually this really pretty fuchsia color. It's just kind of an old lady basic style. But I haven't decided what I'm going to list this for. I have to do some comps, but definitely over $100.
Fancy.
And then by that same token, I also have 4 or 5 St. John suits that I picked up as well. This is vintage St. John. This is 90s, late 90s to 2000 for this tag. This is St. John Basics. It's the Santana knit with the gold buttons. It's a pantsuit. This should sell for about $150 to $200. I can hold out for more. I may start it higher. We'll see what happens. It's a very basic, kind of a timeless style. So I may get a little bit more for that one.
I just want to say, Jimmy Boy Haas is in the house.
What's happening, Jimmy Boy? We miss you.
We do miss you.
Wifey's coming to stay in another week.
Something like that.
About a week.
We should probably figure out what days people are coming.
Yeah, Debbie's coming Saturday, I think. This is something that I picked up again, same location. Cool. This one reminded me of like Dolly Parton right here, I'll tell you. So this is new with tags, kind of a vintage Western skirt, and but it's denim, it's acid wash, but it's got this big long thing with all these fringes and bling at the bottom. I just think it's really cool. It has a tag on it for $75 from probably the early 80s, or early 90s, late 80s.
Ooh.
So I think I should get probably about the same price for it, actually, $75 to $100 for it. Let's see. Where do you get the tag dating info? Kelly, there is a website called the Vintage Fashion Guild that will have vintage clothing tags and the dates for them.
Yeah.
Not everything is going to be there, but popular brands you can find. It's better for people looking for information on tags from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, that type of era, not necessarily for 80s or anything newer, but it will go into the 90s a little bit with some brands.
And like streetwear stuff, what I do is
not for there. Yeah.
What I do is I will just do, hold on. Sorry, sneezy. What I will do is just like, for instance, Nike label history. I Google that. Adidas label history, Champion label history. Google it. Look at images, and you will usually be able to find websites and stuff that have like a lot of that stuff up. Or Defunct, I think, is the website for the vintage t-shirts, and they have a lot of information about different t-shirt tags.
And I'm just going to keep going, and this will be my last batch, and then Katy can finish up too. So I went and actually bought some t-shirts too. So I had first dibs at this site, this house, our friend Jenna's house. So I actually went through a lot of the vintage streetwear she had pulled up as well. And I bought quite a bit. I bought about 20 something pieces, and then Katy got a few as well. But I did get first dibs at them. So I know I grabbed some that Katy wanted, and this is one of them. Sorry, but rude. It's usually the other way around. Everywhere else in the world, she gets first dibs on anything men's. Rude. So I got this really cool skiing shirt, long sleeve t-shirt. It's got puffy paint on it. Yeah. It's that
was the one I tried to force her to give me. She wouldn't listen.
It didn't work. So this one's pretty cool. I think I can probably get about $60 out of it, maybe a little bit more.
It's crispy.
It's crispy.
It's real crispy.
This is another one, just a vintage 90s tee with that band around it, but it's got a koala on it.
It says Australia. Right?
And it says Australia, and it's got a koala bear. And, you know, it's not super old, but it is 90s. It is actually, it's not single stitch, but it's a 90s shirt. And this one probably about $50. And I'm only showing you the ones that I grabbed that were my favorites. This one is back to that whole Mariners thing, but this is the spring training shirt for opening day, 1992, in Arizona. Really cool. I think that's really cool. So this one is single stitch, and it's that nice, super soft t-shirt. Let me see who makes it. It's a Screen Stars. It's on a Screen Stars blank. And again, this one, I don't know what I'm going to put it up for. Again, paid $3, maybe $75, see what happens. I don't think there's going to be a huge abundant amount of them out there. And then this one.
That one's so sweet.
This is just like a
crop top.
It's a cropped, again, muscle bound Hawaii neon. This kind of fun one. It's for Kauai, Hawaii. In like this neon orange color. That is single stitch. And then this is the other one that I thought was really cool. Neon single stitch surf sport.
Yeah, I would have snagged that one
Hawaii
too.
Surfing.
Anything surfing I like.
Yeah, so it's an old Fruit of the Loom, made in the USA. Probably early 90s on this one. And I'll probably sell that one for about $40 to $50 as well.
Yeah. Come on, Jimmy, you should come too. We would love to have you here. We'll come pick you up at the airport.
You can fly in. There's a couple more husbands coming, so you wouldn't be the only man.
You can hang out with the boys. All right, you're done?
Yep, that's it.
All right, so I just have a couple more t-shirts left. So Kara was asking about tie-dye. I think this is the only tie-dye thing I got. But this is really cool.
I like that one.
So this is, if you look at it, it says Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. And what
that's in Orlando.
This is from the Dueling Dragons.
Dueling Dragons roller coaster.
Yes, Dueling Dragons roller coaster, which, as the name implies, there were two dragons. One was blue, one was red. There's another version of this t-shirt that actually is like half of it's red and half of it's blue. So this particular one is the Ice Dragon. And I think they later, because that park opened in 91.
I've been on that in the 90s a few times.
Yeah, or maybe 99. Sorry, not 91. I think it opened in 99. And
that roller coaster is crazy. It's awesome. Your legs hang down and the dragons face each other and they come at each other when you're going. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
And then like I think in 2009 or 2010 they like changed it. It ended up being in where the Harry Potter stuff. They changed it to a Harry Potter ride with dragons. But originally it was just the dueling dragons ride. This is just a really cool shirt.
That does not make Kara happy. That is not the one that she
I didn't
wants.
think so. I didn't think so. But I priced it up. I mean, there's definitely other ones available. And like I said, the ones that are like half red, half blue are really cool. But I love that one. I also picked up another, I have a couple of these now, another Batman Returns t-shirt. This one is an all over print. It's got Michael Keaton there as Batman, Bruce Wayne. Batman. This is a really cool. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies, guys, because this is the Tim Burton sequel to the first Batman movie. This is one that's set at Christmas time. It's got Penguin as the bad guy, but just a great t-shirt. I was really happy to get. I think I paid $30 for this. But
Sandra wants to know what size is the Dueling Dragons shirt.
I believe it's an XL, but it's like a 90, so it's a little bit oversized. But I have it listed already. You can see. You can go see what the actual measurements are. But anyway, I did pick up another. This is probably what I paid the most for this week. Is this 3D Emblem? This is a really cool early 90s Harley 3D Emblem t-shirt. It's got like a great fade across the whole thing. Otherwise it's in good shape. It doesn't have any holes or anything. It's just super faded and super thin. But it's got, I wasn't able to find any other ones with the same graphic. It's got like this Native American chief skeleton. He's got like the headdress war bonnet thing on. It's just a really cool one. And then of course, let the joking commence. The back of it does say beaver leather. This is from Cherokee, North Carolina. So I don't know.
It's nicely faded.
It's very nicely faded. I don't know what beaver leather is, but it makes me uncomfortable. Anyway, I did pay. I believe I paid $60 for this one, but I'm hoping to get $150 to $200 for it. So we'll see. But this one is. You can see right here. This actually has the 3D Emblem tag right on it. So just a really cool shirt. Now, guys, remember last week? Remember one of Vikki's really big sales? What was it?
It was a 1970s faux fur collar jacket that had a Shelby Cobra patch on it. But it was also the back of it was like some, I don't even know, it was like some business with a horse emblem.
It was like a weird like horse farm. It was very it didn't jive with the whole racing jacket thing, so it was weird. But you still sold it for $130. Well, Austin, who is Jesse's brother, and together they own Yesterday's Fits, he had seen that episode where Vikki showed that she sold it for $130, and he remembered that they had a similar jacket somewhere upstairs at the store, and so he actually went and dug this out so that when I came, he could show it to me, and of course I bought it. So this is 70s Shelby Cobra racing jackets. It even has like the little roll collar up in the
hidden
roll hood or whatever. Yeah. But this one actually says Cobra on the back, and it's got the stripes going down the back.
Yeah, you saw.
And the front. It's just like a windbreaker, so it's real light.
You're gonna get $200
it's
plus.
It's such an awesome jacket. I haven't listed it yet, but yeah, I will be listing it for at least $200. But it's just really cool, and I think I only paid like $30, $40 for it tops. So they didn't really charge me like a crazy amount, considering they knew how much you sold the other one for. So I was pretty stoked about it. Let me see, what else do I even have here?
I think the one that you got from the state sale.
That's okay, yeah, I'll show this one. So this will be the last one, guys. So yeah, we went to the second week of the estate sale. I didn't get anything, even though we went upstairs. I thought, oh, there'll be bedrooms up there. They'll be closed. No. There were no bedrooms.
One bedroom in the whole 3 houses, right? that were
like there was literally only one room that had a bed in it. So it was very weird. But the first day that we actually went, when the video that's already out, there was one closet downstairs that had some clothing in it, and I was able to grab this jacket right here. It's actually a down jacket. This is a vintage 70s Eddie Bauer down jacket. It's really cool, quilted. I already washed it. It's got the really cool old
heavy zipper. Brass metal zipper. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's nice red.
And that's what the old Eddie Bauer tag looks like.
You can see it says Bauer down. And then if you look right here on the inside, it says Expedition Cloth. It's actually 100% Egyptian double twist cotton twill, 700 threads per square inch, loomed especially for Eddie Bauer. You can see that right here. So I would imagine that I should be able to get a couple $100 for this jacket, which is, like I said, it's really nice. I already washed it. It washed great. The zipper's in great condition. It's just this really nice.
I totally would have grabbed it if she hadn't made it in the closet first.
Yeah, and I paid $10 for this. $10. So just a fantastic buy. And that was the one thing I've gotten in the 2 visits that we've gone there.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah.
Yeah, I wash Goose down all the time, Kara. It's machine washable.
Yeah, you put it in the dryer and it's.
You could even, if you've got a big enough thing, you can even wash a comforter. You don't need to dry clean. You can wash it, and it smells funny. Here's the thing. If you want to air dry it, great. You can also put it in your dryer. It's going to smell a little bit funny because of the oils and that are involved with the feathers and things like that. It does smell a little funky, but once it's dry, it doesn't. It's as it's wet and drying, it's going to smell a little funky. Yeah. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with this. Just they have a smell to them.
But it's like, what if you're out in the rain in it? I mean, it's going to get wet at times, but it had like a bunch of, it was like a little bit dirty and it had some like splotchiness all over it. And so I washed it and it came out beautifully. So seriously, not a single problem with washing down. It's really,
as a matter of fact, we've both washed suede and leather lately too. You know, I don't recommend it on everything, but yeah, if you've got to test something old and it's a matter of whether you're going to chuck it or wash it, wash it.
There's a lot of stuff that says dry clean only that is actually perfectly fine to throw in the wash, like satin bomber jackets, totally fine.
And yes, Kara, it does kind of smell like a wet dog. That's a good analogy.
I didn't notice on this one though. I thought it was fine. So anyway, all right, so that's everything for our haul. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We appreciate you hanging out with us this Sunday afternoon.
162 of you that are not watching something else right now, that are not watching TV.
Yeah, well, this is kind of like TV, okay? This is like the new TV.
Well, listen, next week is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, I think our viewership will be down a little bit during the Super Bowl.
Well, we might have to adjust our time. So, probably be on the lookout, guys, for an adjustment to what time we're going to be on. I don't know, because, I mean, I don't like football, but a lot of times I'll end up watching just for the commercials and stuff like that. So, we'll figure out what time it starts and see what time we might want to have our show on next week. But anyway,
we'll let you know if the time changes.
Are we gonna have? Are some of the girls gonna be here at that time? They are, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah, it's the 2nd, so I think we'll have company. So we might have it at a different time with guests. But we're gonna go. We have a couple of birthday parties, back-to-back birthday parties to go to, which is why I'm dressed with
a 1-year-old and a 36-year-old plus 20.
Yeah. So so I'm gonna go ahead and I've got my shirt. My button-down shirt, my tie that Allison was mocking me over in the chat because she's so rude. So rude. Oh, you know what else? One other thing. Last week, guys, before we go, we wanted to tell you, last week we played trivia at this bar that we go to, and we won.
Oh, someone asked about it in the chat.
We won.
We've been going to trivia. This is the 3rd time we went with our buddy Britton, if he's still in the chat.
I swear, we've been like second place every time.
And we've been 2nd place. This time we won. I think we are the team to beat. The 4 of us together are really good. And
there's only 4 of us when we could have up to 7 people. So I think we're pretty good, guys. So we won. Our plan is to win again next week. That's the way I'm planning on it. So anyway, thanks again, guys. We will see you on Wednesday for the Boss Up and List show, Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then be on the lookout for time change for next week's Sunday show so that we can accommodate all you Super Bowl people. Anyway, that's it.
That's it.
Bye.
Thanks for joining. Bye.